Well, I am packed up and ready to hit the road. It is 6:21. Very pretty. The pass is way back there. I am so glad to get that over with. Okay, this was my camp. Too lazy to edit the video. This is where my camp was. Very secluded. Very nice. All ready to go. All right, catch you in a little bit. Our first job is to find water. What is the date? Let's see, the 17th. So, I don't know, basically 17 days out here on the trail, not including 0 day. Back in a bit. A little bit of early morning walking video. It is so gorgeous out. It is starting to get thicker, so probably won't be able to see that much of the mountains a little bit later. So take a peek through the trees, enjoy the view. Okay, enough of that. Well, I'm not very far into this. I think I'll get some water here. They gave me this bag as a trash thing, throwaway. It's just to use in the airport. Carry some apples, oranges, that sort of thing. But it has been so handy. It's my everyday stuff that I keep in here, and I keep it on the outside of the pack typically to get to stuff, stuff that I need to get to fairly often and quickly. Okay, that should be enough. I have a half full bottle. This holds 2 liters. Oops. And my bottle's total 2 liters. So, that looks like enough to fill those 2 bottles. So, I don't think you need to watch the rest of this. So, get a hand free. Bye. Yeah, my second bottle. I don't know if I mentioned before the quality of the water. I bought these 2 new Smart water bottles, and I was really thinking about the taste of the water as I filtered it when I drank some of the water that was in the bottle when I bought it, and water tastes superior that I'm filtering here to the water that's actually in the Smart water bottle. Water in the Smart water bottle is pretty good, but it's not quite as good as freshly squeezed. Okay, enough. We've got plenty of water to get me down pretty close to where I'm going. It's unfortunately about a 13-mile day. All the information I had, which is pretty typical, they lying to me, I claim. Basically, I'm misinterpreting things, I think, but always ends up longer than my initial research tells me. So this one's about 5 miles longer. So, I don't know. I think I just need to be more thorough and careful in my planning. And I could blame it on the tools available, but they are so superb in so many ways. I'm amazed at how well all this stuff works. Okay, bye. Got some nice sun on the big rock face up here. Very nice. Hope it's not too jarring. Walking. I'm real curious when I'm home to see this on a big screen, because I have a feeling cameras just don't do it justice. These wide angle things push the mountain way back. That thing is in my face. The sun is up. I hear a stream over here. I've got water. Beautiful mountains ahead. It's going to close back in a little bit. I've been thinking a lot about my feet as I hike. I've heard more than one conversation. One was a very young guy that was talking about trying to, or he had a friend, had a connection where he could actually find, he said steel, I'm not sure what he was talking about, inserts for his shoes, because he was having so much trouble with the rocks bruising his feet. You know, he had something like the normal topo that you see, or ultras, and other people have complained about that. And of course I've been thinking a lot about my feet, because it's such a big deal to me. Just had the operation May 11th. But what that's causing me to do, well, I've actually felt on one section like, oh, the pad on my right foot feels like it might have gotten bruised or something, or just a little bit. Nothing to do with the toe. And so I started paying attention to where I put my feet. And I have not had any issues with the really nasty rocks. Even in those rocks, I look where there are several rocks stacked together that I can put my foot on, so it's more like a bigger platform. If you could imagine a very sharp rock, it's going to bruise something a lot easier than a more flat area. So I look for the flat areas. Seems to be helping a lot. But that's the kind of thing I think of too, are things that will keep me from damaging joints or whatever. And that's what these poles are about. As a matter of fact, I don't believe I could be this far along if I hadn't had these poles. What they do, they're transferring a lot of the forces to my core, and I can drop off of little ledges and really reduce the impact. I just did it there, just bent over and leaned on my pole with my poles dropped against my shoulders. Really makes a big difference. And I've got my left knee can be pretty crabby if I try to do high steps with it. I do short steps with it just to keep it exercise, but any high steps I either completely augment it with the poles lifting me and not much pressure to start, and otherwise use the right leg, which is not perfect, but it's, you know, combination of the poles. Everything is working just fine. Sun is starting to make the trees cast shadows. And say hi to Shadow, by the way. Hey, Shadow. We don't talk much. But anyway, slept about 10,250 feet last night. I think we're going to drop below at VVR, Vermilion Valley Ranch. Below 8,000 feet. Boy, the air will probably feel thick. A little update on the way I'm feeling. Yesterday was a horrendous day, and I felt it. It's about 12, a little over 12 miles, 12 and a half, something, I don't remember. But anyway, it was unrelenting, up and down. Even one of the downs that I did, and I don't have the names for these things, but one of the downs that I did, it was tiring, and I felt so bad for people that were climbing it, and they just did not look good. There were only a couple of people I saw climbing it, and they were not happy. These are people, typically the northbounders, are mostly PCTers, not JMTers. The JMTers typically haven't hiked as many miles, so they'd be, and then they are not going as far, and they're kind of overpacking, so they would really be hurting with something like that. But the PCTers they were hurting, yeah. And anyway, I'm hoping I don't have too much of that in the next 7 or 8 days, because that's going to be a long stretch without food. Well, I mean, I'll have food, but have to carry that many days of food, which is not fun if there's a lot of passes. I certainly always expect high passes, but you know, nice if they're not going to kill you by having several of them a day. So, okay, what do we got here? Typical water crossing. Okay, looks like it's very nice. Be able to cross without getting my toes, my socks wet. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, rock pile. Okay, good morning sunshine. Look at the dew. Hope you can see it on the grass. Beautiful stream. Valley is coming in from the left of my overall trail. So it's probably a big stream that is combining with the stream I've been following. Be a confluence down here somewhere. Probably down here. Okay. Doing some serious go down here. With some switchbacks and stuff. Wow. Okay, I won't subject you to that boredom. Maybe a little bit more boredom. I just thought this was a pretty shot on this little switchback. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Not too.
Trails.
Yeah, happy trails to you too.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Oh, good morning. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. What a beautiful view. Keep the socks dry. Too many of these beautiful pull-offs for me to avoid all of them. Wow, that's a lot of rock. We are really dropping into the valley. Just dropped into the valley of darkness. Not the valley of despair. That's a beautiful valley. As long as it doesn't get my socks wet. I'm not too sure. I can see a root. Yeah. It's a beauty. Hopefully none of the rocks will move. Okay, perfect. Easy. Well, it's starting to warm up in the sun. It wasn't uncomfortable yet, but this actually feels comfortable to me. Oh. Okay, hopefully we get a cruiser. Had a big downhill there. It wasn't exactly a cruiser. A lot of step downs. Another chance to see me, my feet wet. Ha! Trail change here. On the Mono Creek Trail left the PCT. Headed first for Lake, I think it's Edison. And then VVR. Well, that's nasty. May get some wet socks here somewhere. Okay. Enough of that. Sighting of the lake that VVR is on. I just passed the ferry landing, which isn't running in 2026, which sucks. View of the lake from here. Wow, that water is so clear. Right down there somewhere is where the ferry landing is. It's not operating this year. And then VVR is down there, about 5 miles. Look at that water. Look at that. That is amazing. It's clearer than Lake Tahoe. Edison Lake's got a rocky coast. Pretty nice looking beach here. Oh, I should go swimming, but I'm too hungry. Cars, I think I've arrived at VVR. So made it to VVR, Vermilion Valley Resort, Lake Edison, elevation 7,700. I made it here. It's too late for lunch. The burgers look freaking amazing. This is Mushroom City, This is where all the tents pop up. And you start a tab and just put things on the tab. So I told her I wanted 2 nights. My first beer, well, whatever. I didn't want a beer. It's only 5%. The IPA that looked so good was like 9% alcohol. I think I wouldn't have been able to put my tent up if I'd have done that. But this is my spot. It's quite the resort. Got a lot of people that drive in. A lot of PCT and JMT. Hikers. I think it might be a little bit low.